This time, our organ travels take us to the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado, particularly to the corner of Grant and Bayard Streets. The building here which we visit is the former Second Church of Christ Scientist of Denver. But recently, this building was acquired by the Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'i and is now called the Metro Denver Baha'i Center. When the Baha'i organization acquired this building, it acquired along with it the pipe organ in its main auditorium. It's a rather historic organ, as it turns out. It's no surprise that the Church of Christ Scientist, which is headquartered in Boston, should employ a Boston firm to build a pipe organ for its second Church of Christ Scientist here in Denver. And that's exactly what happened. What's interesting about this organ is that it is a Hook and Hastings from Boston, but even more interesting and of great value is the fact that this organ has remained untouched, virtually untouched, and on its original equipment, along with its original tonal colors. And so it is an extant example of organ building from the teens, early 20th century. This organ was up for sale just a few years ago when one member of the Organ Historical Society, Michael Rowe from Boulder, Colorado, took notice, and he took steps to have this organ maintained, and maintained in fact as a historical organ. And it is a historic organ. It is one of the few late Hook and Hastings organs in existence that has not been modified or otherwise altered from its original state. On Easter Sunday, April 23rd, 1916, the Second Church of Christ Scientist held services in this sanctuary, this auditorium, I should say, and one of the wonderful attributes of that auditorium was this new Hook and Hastings pipe organ. The organ is not that atypical from a modern pipe organ. The organ has three manuals: the swell, the grate, and the choir, and, of course, a pedal board as well. It has 2,121 pipes. It has an electropneumatic action, and it has many attributes which are shared by modern pipe organs. But there are a few things that are rather unique. If you'll take a look at the makeup of these stops, we have the swell division stops, the choir over here, the grate, and the pedal. You'll note that the organ is based primarily in 8-foot and 16-foot pitch. Most organ specifications today have a great deal more of higher-pitched pipework. Well, not so here, because this was 1916, and the style of organ building at that time favored variety of tone color at 8-foot pitch rather than a variety of pitches. We have the 8-foot pitch dominating. The coupler rail across the top is interesting in that it separates the unison pitches from those pitches which are superoctave and suboctave. If I, for example, wanted to couple one keyboard to the pedal or one keyboard to another, that is, take all of the stops from one keyboard and have them playable together with the stops of another, the 8-foot pitch would allow this, allowing the pipe on this particular key, for example, to couple directly down. However, a superoctave coupler is a little different. It allows you to take the octave above a particular note and couple it down to the octave below on another keyboard. This adds brilliance because it takes all of the pitches an octave higher and transfers them over to the other keyboard. Now, similarly, in a muddier sort of style, or a more grounded style, we can take a suboctave coupler, which means you could couple this manual, for example, at 16-foot pitch, so that when you played this keyboard here, you'd get all of the pitches from an octave below playing there. So it is possible to couple not only at the unison, which is called 8-foot pitch, but you can couple at 4-foot and 16-foot pitch. On modern pipe organs, which are of electro-pneumatic design, this is very common to have sub and super octave couplers. What this serves to do is to multiply exponentially the numbers of combinations of pipes that one can have when one starts to combine and mix different colors and different stops and different pitches within music, within the performance of organ music. The organist really is like an orchestrator. When he or she sits down to play, he or she must decide what stops and colors exactly to use. We can get general indications from scores, but we don't get the true picture. We have to improvise a bit and make use, the best use, of the tonal resources which are available to us on any given instrument. And no two instruments are ever the same. So it's a very unique sound, and the literature which was written at this time for the organ exploits color. You'll find that the color, the swell boxes, that is the boxes which open and close, create not only tone color, but blending and changing and shifting amplitudes between colors. And that's what makes all of the music from this vintage so perfect for such an organ as this. And that's the type of music I am playing on the rest of today's program. I was invited here very kindly by the Organ Historical Society to help them in recognizing this instrument. There are only a few hundred organs which have received citations by the Organ Historical Society, and this has just become one of them. And to celebrate that, I played a recital for the occasion, after which we dedicated this organ with a plaque, recognizing its historical significance to American organ building.